So today we got a question that I've gotten from several people, and it's about a situation that is going to happen to pretty much everyone in jiu-jitsu if they train long enough. And basically the situation came to me from multiple people, so I figured it's worth doing a video on, because if I'm getting this many questions about it, there's probably many of you that are newer to jiu-jitsu having the same issue. So check it out. A lot of people have sent me messages recently, mostly white belts, a few blue belts, that have said that they recently had a situation where they were rolling and then their training partner got injured during that roll. And they feel terrible about it, right? They feel awful and they feel responsible for it. And they don't know how to proceed because they're like, man, I feel awful about this situation. What should I do? Am I responsible for this? Should I pay for their medical bills? What should I be doing now that this person's injured because I've taken them off the mat for, 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever it might be, depending on the nature of the situation. So thank you guys for the question. And again, for you guys, if you've done this, if this has happened to you recently, I know it sucks. So let's dive into it. So first off, understand this. When it comes to jiu-jitsu injuries, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, right? Because, if you just living in general, you're going to twist ankles, sprain, your knee and stuff like that. You're going to hurt yourself at some point. I mean, we're in this machine that we call a body, and it decays over time. It breaks down over time, and it only gets worse as we get older. And then you take a sport like jiu-jitsu, and it sort of heightens that risk of injury, right? I mean, granted, though, that I have friends that do very light activity and they have all kinds of injuries. So again, take that for what you will. You're going to get injured one way or the other. Like I've said before, you're either going to rust out or you're going to wear out. You don't get to keep your body forever. It's just the nature of the beast, right? That's just nature. That said, you want to do your best when you're training to prevent injuries and roll with people accordingly. And most of us do that. We try to roll with our partners as safe as we can, try to train as hard as we can, but at the same time, never putting them in danger. But nonetheless, at some point, you're going to injure someone. So what do you do when that happens? Well, I'll just share it from my perspective, and I'll let you do with that what you will. I've had a few different injuries, probably the worst injuries that I've had that I can think of, that have happened to me that were directly because of a specific thing that the person did. Because sometimes there's just injuries where you step wrong or whatever. But in particular, I had to have 2 surgeries that were directly impacted by my training partners. One was back when I was 19. A guy was passing my guard and he just passed a certain way and it just compressed my knee a bit. And it took a little bit of a tweak that I already had in my knee, made it worse. And I tore my meniscus cartilage. When that happened, I got surgery and everything else, and I couldn't wait to get back. They checked on me, sent me messages just to make sure I was doing okay and everything else. And I would come hang out in the gym and things like that. But that was about it, right? It was just one of those things where it happens. Damn, it sucks. It wasn't fun. And they helped me out to my car, and you could tell that they were very sad about the fact that I just gotten injured. But again, what can you do? And then, several years ago, I got my nose broken. Shot in for a takedown. My student, blue belt, kneed me in the nose, broke my nose in 3 places, sent it over to the other side of my damn face. I was bleeding everywhere, had to go to the ER, and then eventually have surgery. Now, again, he felt terrible about it. He didn't want to be on the mat anymore. I forced him to keep rolling. I was like, get back and roll. He had a fight coming up at the time. I was like, you got to train. I'm okay. I'll be fine. And I never asked him for medical bills or anything like that. It is what it is. It sucks. But this is what we do when we go into the gym, especially as adults, and even when you're signing your kid up, if their injuries happen, that's just the nature of what we're doing, right? You don't get to tug on someone's joints, do throws and takedowns, and expect there never to be an injury. They're going to happen, and we all accept that when that happens. We all accept that going into it. And again, this is why we should be sort of super mindful of the way that we train to make sure that we can take care of our training partners. But these things happen. Now, you're not responsible for it, though. If it's an accident, which, 100%, nearly 100% of the time, I've never seen someone, and maybe this happens in places, I've never seen someone purposely go out to try to injure their training partner. It's almost always oops, darn it, you posted this way, or I was going this way and something bad happened. It sucks. Feel somber about it, you feel sad about it, you feel upset about it. Yeah, but there's nothing else you can do. That's it. Now, if you feel really bad about it and you want to do something for them, feel free to do that. That is your choice. If you want to go buy them a rash guard or a gi or help them out in some way, do it, right? Go do that. I've checked up on many of the students that have had injuries, whether I injured them or not, just to check up on them and make sure they're okay. Even sometimes surprise them with little things, But again, whether or not you want to do that, that's up to you. But my encouragement to you is, if you just injured someone, Don't beat yourself up over it. It happens. It sucks. If there's something that you did that made it happen, try to learn from that so it never happens again. But nonetheless, that's the situation. That's what we do. That's what we're doing in jiu-jitsu, and people are going to get injured. There's no way around it. So anyway, I know that video, I basically reiterated the same idea over and over again, but nonetheless, hopefully that's helpful to you guys in those situations, and I'll talk to you next time.